Your basement full of.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 116th episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2023. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, our own honorary third host from Rick Barth and the Line. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mickey Torres is back on the show.
Mickey!
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew from New Jersey-based bands Honey Red and Crash Romeo, the latter of which is music video Your Name Here is available on YouTube now. Steve Anderson's back on the show.
Hey. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for coming back on, my man. We are here today to destroy Ted, to eat a dolphin, and make chainsaw pizza. That's right, folks. This world needs Multiplicity 2 Hard Division, and we're here to give it to you. But before we call Carl Rogerson, I love it. But before we call Carl Rogerson, we got a dish on how Multiplicity came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes for everyone watching the live chat as well.
Pizza.
Was it love at first Laserdisc, VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Multiplicity came into your lives. So, Steve, do you remember the first time you got multiplicitized?
Stop
I don't.
it.
No,
Why do you do that? Why do you do that every time?
It's fun just to annoy you.
I don't remember. I don't remember if I saw this in theaters. I don't remember if I saw. When did this come out? What year?
96.
This came out in 96. So this is
probably
funny. I think I can actually fill in the blank for you with this story.
Would you? Please. Yeah, please.
But I think I should save that because that's going to kill the structure.
You know
of
what
me going last. It's going to.
What I will say about this movie, though, I will say is that being named Steve Anderson, there's two movies specifically, three really, that I've heard my entire life. And the first one is The Matrix, where everyone that I meet has to go, Mr. Anderson, to me every fucking time they meet me. But I remember when this came out, I got a whole lot of she touched my peppy, Steve. All the time. I got a whole lot of that. You know, like
You touched my peppy, Steve.
The other one with Cable
you
Guy.
know what?
Yep.
I don't. We've been friends for a long time, and I don't know if I've ever done that to you. So
No,
I must
I
have, though. I probably have.
I'm sure you did when this came out. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sixth grade. So,
Yeah.
All right, Mickey. Do you remember the first time you got multiplied?
You know, I was trying to think about it.
It's a little better, but still gross. It's a little bit like it's not as bad as the first one, but it's still gross, Chris.
I either saw this on rental or on cable or something like that, and you know, I don't really remember much about it. I mean, I rewatched it today, but like I think it was just something that I had on, and it was what it was.
You're a cold man. That's just ice in your veins, Mickey. I can't.
I love Michael Keaton, but I have a thing with Andie MacDowell where I do not like her. So
really,
my
gosh,
so sorry to say that, Andie MacDowell, but I just
Mickey,
not a
we're
fan.
gonna talk later in the show,
Not
but
a fan.
I kind of like. I have some thoughts on that too, so I get it.
All right, well, jump in there. Come on, don't hold out.
Well, so what Mickey's saying, like Andie MacDowell is a great actress. I don't think there's anything wrong with Andie MacDowell or any movie that Andie MacDowell is in. But she's a hard actress to kind of put into a spot. Like she wasn't a comedian. Like this is a role I think a comedian it's not if Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes,
I know it was those two are always going to be put into like the categories. Like we can't get her, let's get Andie MacDowell. But like I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus would have added a little bit more humor to it. However, saying that, there's the other side where she's the straight man.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need the straight man in order to make the comedian shine.
My issue with Andie MacDowell usually is that she is the same in everything that she does.
Yeah, she's Andie MacDowell.
She's very I mean, Groundhog's Day.
I was about to say though, she's
They're
good.
both Harold Ramis movies.
Yeah.
Right. She's much better in Groundhog Day. I think they wrote her kind of terribly in this. She just kind of plays like an idiot, like a doting idiot. You know what? Like she doesn't realize
You know,
anything
I
that's
almost
going
like
on through this whole movie.
the weird
Fucking
thing about
What fucking planet am I on right now?
the weird thing about this movie is that it's a alternative universe, multiverse of Mr. Mom.
Oh my gosh. That is the
No.
best statement I have heard about this movie in years.
So I almost wish
So I
Terry
like
Garr was in it.
All right. Come on now. Everybody just settle down, okay?
Mr. Mom's a way better movie than this. And do not tell me that this is
Wow,
a better movie than Mr. Mom.
I
we got
love
shots
Mr.
fired.
Mom. I
Shots
love Mr. Mom,
fired.
but no, sir. No,
You think this
it is
movie is
not.
better than Mr. Mom?
This movie is 10 times better than Mr. Mom, and I absolutely adore Mr. Mom. That is in no way a diss on Mr. Mom.
Oh,
But
I don't
this
know where I
movie is
stand.
fantastic.
Well,
Keaton
this is
should have won a fucking Oscar for this movie, and I'm questioning every decision I've made in my life that put me in this room that I'm in right now with all these people trashing Annie McDowell and like, what is going on here, folks?
I think she's great. I think she's great. I just
her.
think this role was written a little poorly for her.
I just said she plays the straight man, and I wonder if a comedian would have added a little bit more oomph to it.
And to your point, I do love JLD. I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus, but I don't know. I don't think that this is. I think it needed a straight. You know, it needed the straight man. It needed.
I hope you see her in the streets as like JLD. What up? Like I really want you to.
I love me some JLD.
Exactly.
That is true. Every character in this movie is ridiculous. So like her being the only one that's not, you know what I mean? It
Ted
does
is
make
ridiculous.
sense.
Well,
yeah.
Richard Mazer is ridiculous.
I get it. She's meant to
Otho
be
is ridiculous as the building inspector.
What you just said can never be
Levy.
uttered and taken back from the internet. You just said the words Richard Mazer is ridiculous.
That's a compliment.
Never is Richard Mazer ever ridiculousness. All right. I say that right now.
Ridiculously arch. I'll say that.
He's
okay, fair.
He's deliciously, ridiculously arch.
You don't come after my Richard Mazer.
I know.
You don't do that,
I know.
Chris.
I know. No one comes after. No one does that to you.
Eugene Levy's ridiculous.
Oh my god,
Levy.
he's the best.
Eugene Levy. I forgot.
He's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He is kind of the best part of this movie.
Even the girls that from the AMP Mini Mart that like party with Lance and Rico, they're ridiculous. It's great. This movie's fucking fantastic. And you know, this movie's always been under-respected in a way that feels personally insulting to me somehow. I love Harold Ramis, and I love everything about this point in his career, Groundhog Day to Multiplicity.
I love how passionate Chris is. I love how passionate he takes the hurt of this movie. I love
Peak Ramis.
I take it personally, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to know how young Iowa Ian stumbled upon this masterpiece of a film.
This was an HBOer. 100% all the way HBO. They would play. I know we always talk about it, you know, from 8 to 5, HBO had to play safe movies because of kids. So, and this is when there was one HBO channel, not 15 or stream. Like you only had one HBO, you know, and so when kids were flipping to a channel from 8 to 5, you had to play safe. So Multiplicity was on almost like weekly when it premiered. So I loved it. I love this movie. Again, A, it's Michael Keaton. There's nothing more to say on that. B, it's Richard Mazer. There is absolutely nothing else to say about Richard Mazer movie. 3, like he did the multiple character long before Eddie Murphy even tried to do it.
Well, let's back that up a little bit. Coming to America was like 7 years, 8.
He did like 7, 8 years before this. All right, but still, this was before the Nutty Professor family.
Yeah, but
it's basically like roughly the same-ish time, very close in time. This is a smidge before Nutty Professor.
Whatever. The point is, like, this man should have gotten an Oscar not only for Beetlejuice. And I think if the Oscars had a category of like retro acting Oscars, I think Michael Keaton would have been at the top for Beetlejuice. You know, like it was just an era.
Even Batman.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but I'm saying for Beetlejuice, like, come on. Like
there's so much. Mike Keaton's great.
I mean, we can talk all day about fixing the Oscars from different years.
Well,
like
I'm saying, but like his acting, but in this like particular, like his acting, that is an impressive thing to do because he's playing Michael Keaton. Like he's playing his character multiple times, no pun intended. But like there is I mean, it's not even like it's just a slight twinge that makes them all different, and that's hard to do. You know, like
with the exception of 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can go from this guy to this guy, and it's pretty easy. These two guys, that's a harder acting approach to do.
Well, especially
great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if I had one qualm, I love this movie too. I think it's fantastic. I've always loved it. If I had one qualm with it, I would just have liked them to have given some kind of a line or some kind of an explanation to say, hey, this cloning process will alter certain aspects of your clone's brain a little bit, and they'll tend to like go a little more towards this aspect of your personality or not. Just if Richard Mazer plays the main doctor, right? Remember that, right?
No,
That's Harry Yulin from Scarface and from Stuart Family. And
if he would have just came in and given some kind of a line to explain the differentiation in their fucking, you know, character traits a little bit more, because the first clone 2 or clone 1 or whatever makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, he's basically him as if he'd stayed a bachelor. He's basically him if he wasn't, like, you know, with his kids and wife and whatever. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's been, you know, he can kind of get a little bit more alpha male and a little bit more drinking beer in my underwear kind of, you know.
See, I buy it because I don't think it requires that much explanation. I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off there.
It's when they get to the third clone that really gets me.
When they get to number 4.
No, 3, really.
Number
like
3.
3, yeah. Well, if you're counting him as as 1,
he's 1, and then 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
When they get to 3, when he becomes like the effeminate,
sensitive
overly sensitive or whatever, that's where I would have liked to have had a little bit of an explanation as to why these guys start differentiating so much.
To me, it makes just as much sense as the work clone, because think about it, when he gets cloned the first time, he's like getting buried at work and he like doesn't know how he's going to get out of it, so he's thinking about work, and they clone him. And then what comes out is like a work monster. And then the second time he's buried in house stuff and he's thinking like, oh my god, I want to be like a better father, I want to be like more sensitive for the kids, and I want to be this and that. And then what do they clone? Someone who's all those things.
That is
interesting. They never explained like how
you don't need to explain it, because explaining it is stupid.
Who did
That's
4?
A horseshit scene.
Who did 4?
Like, oh, remember they threw this line where it's like,
the
your
clone
personality index is based on your physiology.
The
whatever they say, no one's gonna buy it.
The clone went to the doctor and said, like, make another clone.
Right. Yeah, they say that. It's like, we cloned 3.
Yeah,
and
we made a copy of 2. And you know, sometimes when you make a copy of a copy, it's not quite as sharp as the original.
That line is one of my favorite lines.
That's the best line.
You ever make a copy of a copy and it just doesn't turn out as great as you want it to be?
That's the line that makes this movie a classic comedy, in my opinion, because it like allows you to then have number 4, and 4 is amazing. 4 is worth the price of admission on this movie alone.
Is that safe? God. Well, we shave him at night. It's kind of
we take the razor blades out. There's so many things about it. It's great. So I'll get to my first time watching this movie in a sec, but I do want to say hi to everyone in the chat. I see Angie Saunders, the mashup genius, Miyagi-Do forever, Princess K, Alex Bonafonte, Gold's Code himself. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Let's see. We got some love from Michael Keaton and Andy McDowell, so all you haters out there can eat it. Angie says she wants 500 husbands. Alex Bonafonte says that's the plot of the Multiplicity adult parody, 1-page script, 3-hour film. Gold's Code says, and we are gonna eat a sequel. No, we're gonna pitch a sequel. Says he saw this movie to sleep over and then made his girlfriend years later watch this for her science class at college, and she was confused. Also
if you're trying to get real science out of the movie, I mean, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, was she confused about the movie, or was she confused of why Sean Gold made her watch this movie?
Well, no, she was confused that Sean was showing a movie other than Airborne, and that's what confused her.
Our first Airborne reference comes from Ian this week. I would have never thought I'd see the day, folks.
I'm gonna battle the army here.
Well played, sir. Gold's Code, I think either jokingly or confusedly says Andy McDowell was great in The Frighteners. Of course, that was Trini Alvarado from The Babe. Love Trini Alvarado, but I don't know if Sean Gold's joking or if he didn't actually know that. She does look a bit like Andie MacDowell.
She does.
And again, some Groundhog Day love. Gold's Code misses Chris's studio. Fear not, Gold's Code. My studio will be rebuilt very, very soon. Right now, we're in a future bedroom of mine, which also needs to be rebuilt. So bear with me, guys. Things will be back up and running, and the clip show will be henceforth coming soon. I can guarantee you that. Any rate, so my first time watching this movie, and Steve doesn't know this, but our first time watching this movie was actually together. It was we've been best friends since 6th grade, and it was that very year that this movie came out, and we had a third friend, and that's all of our friends in the world at this point in our lives at our school. And this kid was direct off the boat from Sweden, and well, not direct, but his parents were like right off the boat. But this kid, Erica Lund, I think it was his birthday party, and we all went to the Catlow to see Multiplicity. And I loved, we did in Barrington, fucking Illinois. And we went to the Catlow and saw this movie, and I was like, this is the best film I've ever seen at the Catlow. And I saw Parenthood at the Catlow, but we've seen some incredible movies there.
Oh my God, you're saying this movie's better than Parenthood?
All right, I'm kind of, whatever. But I had a great time. Multiplicity. It was a great birthday party movie. Let's put it that way. It's definitely the best birthday party movie experience I ever had. I don't know. I just love it. I love the concept. First of all, I love Michael Keaton. And right out of that, he did not do Batman Forever, and he did do Multiplicity. So in my mind, that's 2 wins in 1 move. Forever, Multiplicity, fucking all-time genius. Like,
this was his return to comedy, right?
With this world,
this movie is the big.
What is it? Like, it is a good movie. I'm tired of you all ruining and
I like Val Kilmer.
You're diarrhea turd on that movie. First off, that movie has Don the Dragon Wilson, and you didn't even know that.
Oh, that's right. I you know what? I was talking about this the other day. Steve was like, what's the most famous thing he did? I'm like, he did something super huge in the 90s, but I can't remember, but it was a small role. So it's
that's what it was.
Derail the whole episode.
What he did was Blood Fist 1 through 17, and this world is a better place for it. That's what he famously did.
But tell no lie.
Mickey, can I ask?
That movie was pure gold for us when we were young.
Yo, sure.
We loved it. It wasn't.
We loved it when it came out, but wait, Mickey, you like Val Kilmer's
We're all high on Jim Carrey.
I love Val Kilmer as Batman. I love Val Kilmer as Batman.
I do agree with Chris. It was the Jim Carrey effect.
We were all so drunk off of fucking Jim Carrey shit back in the fucking early mid 90s. Like, he could have done anything. He could have taken a big CGI shit and it would have been a huge hit. Oops, The Mask.
Shots fired again.
He's great in it, but the movie is a fucking dog. I'm just saying. We'll VCR it. We'll VCR it next week. No,
so how did you get masked dead?
Masked-ized.
How did you get Ace Ventura's eyes?
We've already posed that question on VCR. We've tried to get Cable Guide. We've gotten. Yeah, if there's more Jim Carrey movies for us to do, let us know.
So many damn shows. I don't even know what we've done at this point. I have to go back and look at our channel.
Have you guys ever gotten Once Bitten?
No, we should.
Oh no, that's Jim Carrey. That's a solid.
That's a Halloween episode, maybe.
Once Bitten 2, Twice High. Boom.
Yeah. God, I would love that. I would love a sequel to that movie with Jim Carrey in it.
Oh, that'd be
so
great.
I put the question to all of you watching at home. If you would want us to do a Once Bitten episode, please let us know in the live chat. I'm trying to get deeper and deeper on our 80s gems.
He belongs to me. Stand
back. Oh, fuck. What's the girl's name? You know the actress's name. I'm just derailing it all right now. Not Lauren Hutton, but the teenage girl.
Girl was it Robin something?
I think it might have been. All right. Well,
now I'm lost.
Let's get back on track a little bit.
Multiplicity.
Multiplicity.
When did you see it, Chris?
I think.
You
saw
it.
Like I said, sixth
with
grade. Erica Lund's
I forgot again already.
You were there too, and for some reason, you're the one who doesn't remember. It's a rare case with the holes that are in my brain.
Oh,
but
Robin was her character name. It's Karen Pierce.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. Well, I knew you'd IMDb it at the very least. So
yeah, I
thanks
mean,
for
that was going to
bailing me
annoy
out there.
That was going to
But I
annoy
will say
me.
this: Multiplicity is the Big of the '90s, and it did not get the respect or the love that Big got in the '80s.
That's another movie I hate.
That's a bold statement.
So that makes sense.
Oh, fucking Christ! No
I
wonder
hate-
a bold
I hate
you got
Big.
ice in your veins, man.
Here's the thing.
How can you hate Big?
These movies.
I'm not hating
Robert
on
Loggia.
Big. I'm just saying it's big words for you to be like, this is the Big of the '90s. Like, that's a bold statement.
I hate these types of
runner-up would be
movies.
Pleasantville.
I hate these.
You don't like high concept comedies,
which shows you like, oh, this drama, like this guy, like basically like creates a clone because you can't get enough, done at home and this and that and whatever. And instead of just like trying to like figure out a schedule and maybe you get a babysitter, whatever the case may be, you're gonna clone and this and that and the time thing, and this thing inevitably has to fall apart. And then when it falls apart, then he's like, okay, well, I got to fix this or whatever like that. Never, ever tells his wife that I cloned myself and this and that, whatever like that. So, and it's just, it's surprise. It's surprise when this shit falls apart. It's like, dude, this shit is going to fall apart.
What this movie didn't have that like other movies sort of in this vein did, like a Mrs. Doubtfire is a good example.
I hate that movie too.
All right, well, fine, but
you're heartless.
Kick him off the show.
My point is that at the end of that movie, Sally Field realizes that what's going on, and then that has to be the catalyst to then further that character to complete his arc, to do everything else. Michael Keaton doesn't really complete. He builds the rest of his house for her. And he uses the clones to whatever. She never finds out that there's clones. She never. So basically, there's really, if I'm trying to find qualms with this movie, that would be one of them. She never really finds out. He never comes to terms with what he did. He spent $150,000, I guess, to make these clones or whatever. Because what do they say? It's $50,000 a piece or something like that.
Well, we
and at some point, we lost the end. Yeah. Well, he agreed with my point so hard he had to leave. So
did they really say that he paid money?
I think so, right? I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering this, he had to pay.
I don't think they ever said anything about
it. No, really. He asked. He goes, "What would a standard clone job cost? Nothing fancy." And they never say.
Okay. So I'm making that up. I'm sorry. I should have rewatched.
I'm wondering if it's just a part of science, so to speak. Like, this doctor's doing it because he can do it, and he just wants to like further have more like, proof of doing it, or I don't know.
Right. He wants to experiment on willing participants, but doesn't. Like I'm sure that like cloning is technically like a big controversial concept. Even when they did it with like animals and stuff, people got all up in arms about it. So you got to think
was this the first movie that had clones?
No, but it's the first movie. It's the first like comedic high concept comedy that had clones. Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of a movie with clones before this. I'm sure there is one.
There has to be.
There was horror,
or like some Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, there were some horror movies that were clones, but nothing.
Yeah, like some Body Snatcher type of shit, or like Battlestar Galactica, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some comedy that kind of was dealing with clones. I mean, ever since wasn't there an Andy Kaufman movie that was about clone? No, that's Heartbeats. That was about robot. Never mind.
Mm. Well, yeah,
robots.
Again, just picking apart things in this movie. If they had a little bit more, because like he's not a excessively likable character so much. I mean, he's great. He plays the part so well, and he's so charming. It's great, but his character is not the greatest guy. He creates these clones so that he can go bungee jumping off a boat, and like and like and like play golf or whatever.
Don't you woke this movie, Steve? Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
I'm not trying to.
But he ultimately gets his like. I mean, like he never like, so to speak, like he never faces any kind of fucking consequence to his actions, whatever like that, except for when they break rule number 1. That's it. And in a sense, it's
that's like, played for comedy more than it is an actual problem.
It's still not like she leaves, but he gets her back like a few days later or whatever like that.
Right. Yeah. That's the best Eugene Levy part in this movie that I remember is when he gets him to come back after they fire him to help him, and he's like, "You got your own guys? You got your own men?" He's like, "Yeah." And he just doesn't even flinch at the clones. Like he doesn't give a shit. He's like, "All right, yeah." He just plays it so straight. That is the best part of this movie with Eugene
Every
Levy.
second.
I will say this. I'm kind of with Chris. I find this fascinating. You two are raising such issues with the math of multiplicity as far as holding. But I will say that there are a lot of movies that particularly like with male figures that in today's society obviously would not fare well. I mean, there's the classic thing about was it Close Encounters? You know, Richard Dreyfuss is a father. What's he do? He goes right into space. Well, no father would ever do. I mean, you know, like that's and even Spielberg's like, yeah, that's dumb. Like I was not married or a father at the time, so that's, you know. But I do agree that he does have a kind of an attitude throughout the whole movie, you know, number one. And there is no consequences for his behavior. He does just kind of get away with it at the end. But he does there is a learning curve at the end where he realizes I just need to be the better dad. I mean, it's got to have that moment. But.
Yeah.
For a minute there, when I watched the movie originally or whatever case may be, I thought when he said, like, I just need you to come back to the house, I thought he was going to like show her the 4 clones.
Right.
Or the 4 of them, whatever. But
I mean, think about that. Play that out, though.
Exactly.
She realized as soon as she sees the 3 of them, she's gonna remember that one fucking rainy night, and it's gonna be really uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Because there's no way the sex was anywhere near the same for all 3 of them.
And that's the consequence. That's the consequence right there. That
this one was the most wild.
Right. this one was real rough. This one was real tender, and this one jerked off on my feet.
She's gonna go. She's
like, come on. There's no way. There's no way.
No, but if she sees she's probably gonna leave him for 2. Like, let's be real.
Right.
Two is a wild animal.
They always leave for a 2. It's never for a 3. Always for a 2.
Oh man, now we're just really throwing this all in the fucking garbage. Let
me go back a little bit if I can. I'm sorry I had an internet issue, but like Mickey's like analyzing comedy. You're the type of guy that looks at the Three Stooges. It's like, well, why doesn't Shemp just leave Mo? I mean, this is an abusive relationship.
I'm not analyzing comedy so much as it's why I don't like the movie. It's just too much for me to be like. I mean, I get it, suspending disbelief, whatever like that. But it's also a comedy is
really abusing Beavis all the time.
A comedy has to be funny, and to me, there wasn't a lot of funny. Like I just watched this and I was just like,
I don't know if I agree there. It's a
different comedy. It's not an Animal House, Porky's, Up the Creek.
I'm more of an R-rated comedy.
It's not an Up the Creek.
Don't you come after my Up the Creek, Chris. Don't you dare.
I am more of an R-rated comedy guy.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a very like it's in that Groundhog Day, defending your life. Like it is a higher thing.
Defending your life. God, I love that movie. Fuck. Albert Brooks. What a genius.
What is genius. So I get that.
Sorry, I thought Steve was.
It's not like a movie. Like I mean, there's like a few lines. I think. I mean, like I do it all the time. She touched my pipit, Steve.
Yeah.
Like there's like 4 is the one that gives you some of these one-liners you say with friends, but for the most part, I mean, it's not a Wedding Crashers. You don't get lines and line after line after line. You know,
and that's more the comedy I like.
Everything 4 does is hysterical. And like him pouring him the soda, the ski thing, him nailing a nail into just a board that for no reason, him pouring him the Coke or whatever to try to get him to talk.
One of the best scenes,
all that shit is absolutely hysterical. You know,
it's incredible. And not only that, but like the acting and the editing and the special effects are seamless. And this is all done on film. This is like the only computer in the entire equation was the VistaVision camera control. The camera was controlled by a computer. It's basically the Back to the Future 2 camera. and they just took it to the limit. And like,
oh, it's good
for him.
I mean,
for
like,
Michael Keaton,
never really noticed to me.
four very distinct roles. Okay, I'll grant that one of them is basically he's kind of playing Michael Keaton, but the others are like exaggerations of, you know, characters, because they have to be different, because audiences are stupid, and you know, they need to tell which Michael Keaton is what Michael Keaton when they're all in a scene. Right. So for him to do like 4 different styles of acting in a scene together that all has to be captured in camera in a location, like, that's incredible. He bumps chests with himself, like that whole like, Ted, we must destroy Ted, we will stop Ted, we will crush Ted, talk to me, like that shit's brilliant acting. And no, I've never seen
the effects are incredible too. Like the way they did it is just
you don't really like notice, you know, that this is 4 separate. I mean, it's kind of seamless in a way. I mean, if you stare really hard enough, you can see something, but at the like you're watching a movie and it's not so bad. It's not so noticeable.
Harold Ramis doesn't get the respect as a director as he should, because I mean that of all the comedies in history, you really I mean, like, the guy did Groundhog Day, the guy had, you know, he did Vacation, he did Multiplicity, he did
fucking Caddyshack.
I will stand by, nobody will probably agree with me in this room, but I will stand by Year One. It's kind of funny. I mean, it was kind of the last one, but
it has some great lines.
It has its moments. It does.
Oh man, I want to lay with her so bad.
Yeah, shit like that. It's great.
But he was you know, he was a part of Ghostbusters. He was a part of Stripes. He was in that universe. He was part of SCTV. I mean, the guy really doesn't get put on list of comedians.
No, National Lampoon's too. I mean, the dude was an absolute trailblazer.
But I think it's because of Egon
too.
I think he got
really
so overshadowed of Egon that nobody really took him as that. You know, you're like, he's on the level of Billy Wilder. He's on the level of you know, Bob Clark. Like, he's on.
But even that's not as big as being a fucking Ghostbuster. Yeah,
it's not.
Well, to be fair, like, I didn't really know. Like, I knew Harold Ramis as Egon, and I knew him in Stripes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I didn't really know that he was a director, like, until later on. Like, when,
I think a lot of people back in the day didn't know the faces and the you know, directors.
I think it was only until, like, I might have seen like a behind the scenes of some movie that he maybe Groundhog's Day or something like that, and I saw him as like directing. I'm like,
HBO First Look, baby.
Yeah, exactly. HBO First Look. I'm like, oh, that's Egon. I'm like, he's directing. And then
by the way, he is the funniest. I still think to this day, if you rewatch Ghostbusters, he's the funniest fucking character in that thing. Everything he says is incredible. Is absolute comedic.
Just the way he acts is like.
I'm glad you said that, because if you watch Ghostbusters 1, those lines are so
good. Yeah.
And so again, it's his reworking of the script that made the movie into what it is. You know, no discredit to Dan Aykroyd, because he's like started the whole thing and he speaks that Ghostbusters language. But Egon and Harold Ramis absolutely instrumental into making that movie a hit and a filmable thing.
Let's see what happens when we take away the puppy.
Yeah. You know, oh my god.
That's such a sick line in Ghostbusters II that nobody catches, but every time I watch it, I'm like, you are the worst.
Everything he says in those movies is like low key hysterical, and you don't pick up on it.
I collect fungus, sponges, and molds.
Spores, mold, and fungus.
Did he write this one too, or no?
Yeah, that's a good question. Did he?
Did. I
am not 100% on that, but somebody look it up, because it is pitch time, and I do want to reiterate to the audience at home that you get to play along here as well. Let us know what you do and don't want to see in a Multiplicity sequel. There are some pitches already in the chat, so let's see. Okay, and again, some more love. Goldscope says a man can't come and he can't host. Let's show Ian how VCR Redux is going to get its viewership back. Asa! A lot of Terry Silver references, and they will never go ignored. Alex Bonfante has a pitch. Wayne Enterprises is in turmoil after the death of Batman, and in desperation clones Bruce to test their immortal soldier program. They lose control, and rival Batmen fight over territory in Multi-Arkham City.
let's okay. I gotta give that credit because
the title is brilliant, Alex.
The only reason people really wanted to see the Flash was for Michael Keaton as Batman. So, to be honest, if you had multiple Michael Keaton Batmans in a multiverse movie, I would go see that. I can't.
Ooh. Damn, that is actually genius.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie. That's what we should have gotten.
Because you can get the '89 Batman, you can get the Batman that was going to be Batman Forever Batman.
Honestly, I know Val Kilmer is not in the best health, but that would have been incredible just to do Batman No Way Home, because there's so many Batman. If you could have had Bale and Clooney and fucking Kilmer and Keaton and maybe even Adam West at one point, like it would have been wild. And I know the Flash tried to be all the things, but
the story was Chris Miller is a story writer. The screenplay is Chris Miller and Mary Hale.
Okay.
And then I know apparently Harold Ramis is credited for some of the screenplay too, but Chris Miller I think is really the general writer of this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
He does a lot of good shit.
There are more pitches in the chat, of course. Gold Code. Stewing from their loss, the Preps take revenge on Mitchell and crew, leaving only Wally and Snake unscathed. Wally gets Snake cloned 10 times for a new race and a new team. It's multi-born.
Oh my God. Multiple snakes just in that little one pose that he does, because he's like that the whole time. You get 10 of them going down the hill like that.
Shout out to Jacob Vargas, one of the greatest actors that has ever graced the earth. Come on, VCR Redux, Jake. Oh, please, we would love to talk to you. Snake lives in our hearts forever. Dustin Nino says his pitch: Multiplicity 2, the multiple ninja universe. In order to save the universe, the CIA sends all the Keatons through time with ninja assassins to stop the Dark Shadow occult. Again, just a lot of chef's kisses on the show tonight. I am very impressed by our audience. I would watch that. I would watch just about anything with ninjas, and it astounds me that Michael Keaton has not done anything with ninjas to this point.
He played Batman. I don't know,
but he fought a guy.
His Batman wasn't really ninja Batman. His Batman was
that's true.
He could have been. He could have been ninja Batman. He was incredible in the Flash. He was the best part of the.
He had the smoke bomb, so it's pretty much ninja.
That's very ninja. That's true.
What constitutes a ninja?
You have to have the eyes to sell it. That's what.
Remember, he trained with the League of Assassins too. So
yeah, I could have seen Michael Keaton doing that shit back in 89, 92, 95, something like that.
Can you imagine if Batman Begins with Michael Keaton as the Batman?
Oh, it would have been amazing. A young Keaton would have been fantastic. Again, the darkness, the fire in the eyes, the determination. You totally believe it. And you can believe a lot more than that because you believe everything he does in Multiplicity. Speaking of, well,
I was just gonna. The idea of Multiplicity. So I would not want to see another one with Michael Keaton. I know people will probably boo-hoo on me on that. But this is if in what did this come out 95? 96. So if there was a sequel world in 98 or 99, right? I think Multiplicity 2 or Multiplicity II, because I can kind of see that good poster of II,
Oh yeah, one dot above and one dot below. Yeah.
So Multiplicity 2 to me was a different actor. There's a world where there was sequels of Multiplicity with different actors. So if you had did Multiplicity II with, let's say, just for fun, let's say Jim Belushi. All right. I'm talking 98.
So direct to video? I'm not trying to be
but I'm just saying
in 98, he was making gang related movies like that.
That's what I'm saying. He was
the principal.
No, the principal was 87.
Oh, that's right.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
What was Jim Belushi doing at that time?
And that's got Jacob Vargas too.
Who's an actor you would have seen in 98 who could have done this?
Jim Carrey. They always wanted Jim Carrey for this one.
Well,
Adam Sandler.
But I'm saying for
Adam Sandler. Yeah, it would have been Sandler in 98.
Chris Farley.
He was dead.
Oh, in 98 he was. Oh,
Yeah, I think it was
really?
97. I think he died in 97.
Like, I see a Multiplicity 2 with Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
Wow,
I
man,
think he's too old.
I have not seen. I'm just I'm blindsided by these. But
You're blindsided by that one?
I am.
Yeah.
I was
I do believe
not
Dan
prepared.
Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd is a good second man.
I agree with that.
Dan Aykroyd as a lead actor was never a good thing, and so like Great Outdoors, Dan Aykroyd is the great second guy.
How cool would it have been like
best acting
if John
Cusack?
If John
Cusack would be perfect. That'd be
he would
great.
be excellent. Yeah,
yes.
he would be great.
Oh, hear me out.
All right.
John Candy in Multiplicity.
I mean, he died 2 years before the movie was made, but
did
he? Yeah. He was dead, my man.
Would have been great.
So you know what I'd like to see?
Oh,
Tom Sizemore.
Another one.
You'll be
time who's not with us, but
it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see if they did. So you're essentially talking about, well, not like a reboot, like a sequel with just like another act. So like but not in the vein of like a Mask 2 with Jamie Kennedy. Something good, somebody good at it.
Oh
God, the son of Mask. Oh my god.
So, but like if they did a sequel now with Michael Keaton, let's say, or whatever, right? And he's now retired and he's older and he's whatever. And he's noticing or seeing that there are clones of him out there in the world. Maybe somebody's taking, you know what I mean? Like maybe he sees one on TV. He assumes it's like the other guys. It's not whatever. This doctor has been shut down after he did it. And this doctor's been using his mold, his DNA, because he consented to it, and he's been making a lot of Michael Keatons. And now that I know people hate this, but now that we have that age, de-aging technology, there could be young Michael Keatons, there could be older Michael Keatons, there could be tons of Michael Keatons.
I do like that.
Just out in the world,
like
and
that.
he's
that's
spent
a question
movie.
too. That's a question too. Do clones get older?
Of course.
Yeah, sure. Why not? But like as he's making them through the years, there's still young ones out there.
What was it? Marlon Wayne's The Sextuplets on Netflix. I kind of saw that, where you can actually use that framing of like Michael Keaton going and traveling to find the other Michael Keatons,
right?
Trying to unite them or collect them all or something.
Well, he's trying to find this doctor, maybe to shut it down. Like we got to shut this down. Older Andy McDowell is like, what the fuck is happening? He's like, I don't know. Then he's got to go
he finally faces some consequences because now he's
it finally comes.
He gets away scot-free, and you let it be, Mickey.
He
finds his old clones still work on that pizza place.
My whole thought is, what if there was a second one and Andy McDowell somehow like she's like, oh, I feel like I'm run down, I can't do this, that, whatever, and I need all this stuff. And then Michael Keaton goes,
McDowell's.
Yeah, and then Michael Keaton goes like, well, I got an idea. Go with, run with me. And then like she goes to the doctor and gets multiple.
She gets multiplied?
Just for fun. Real quick, Chris, don't move, but raise your eyebrows. This is a mix of number 2 and number 4 is literally Chris Stiles. I just realized this. Chris Stiles is a clone. He dresses like 4, but is as badass as 2.
Well, if we'd ever met in the flesh, you would know that the latter half of that statement is absolutely untrue. I wish I was as badass as 2.
You're a clone of a clone.
I'm closer to one of the AMP girls from the mini mart that was gonna nuke 2's corn dog than I am to actually being 2, sadly. But I hate to be quoted out of context on that. Well, where were we?
I think honestly though, like if you got Andy McDowell to get cloned, I kind of like mixing Steven and Mickey's idea together. If you like that. That kind of works. Cool. I
always wanted that version. Like again, the '97.
If you were gonna go with Michael Keaton, like I said, I'd like to see it where there was a Multiplicity 2 and a Multiplicity 3, but it was like different actors.
That'd be cool too. Yeah, that would be. As long as you got good. As long as you didn't Jamie Kennedy it out. Yeah. As long as you got good people.
I don't know. I hear that, and I just think of like people in the early '80s being like, "We're going to take the Halloween franchise into an anthology series,
Well,
and everything's
it does
gonna be
sound a little
different."
daddy day camp or daddy
Yeah.
daycare.
Yeah,
again,
right.
You know, like
Like,
they did kind of do some of those. You know,
yeah, like I am afraid of the Jim Belushi, Jamie Kennedy version. You know,
Well, they did,
that version
and
scares me.
all the different American pies.
And I love Jim
and like,
Belushi.
and
Oh yeah, the Book of Love or something.
the Van Wilder series has
Rise
been
of the Tide.
there is a version of this where it's actually where it's the Rock during his like the pacifier years or whatever, or
the he would have done
game
Multiplicity
plan
too in a
kinda
heartbeat.
There's a cool
the pacifier
actually-
was Vin Diesel.
this
Yeah,
could
you're
be
thinking of the Tooth
interesting.
Fairy.
Not in this version, but there's a world where there could be an interesting Deadpool multiplicity. Like you clone Deadpool.
Okay.
You should think about that.
Okay.
It'd be interesting.
So it's just a lot of Ryan Reynolds talking to each other.
I didn't freeze. I'm just like I am dumbfounded by this.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Mickey's gonna have to reboot, but while he does,
Because you
Gold's
basically got
Code
that last
has
one.
another wonderful pitch here for us.
That was a great transition, by the way. That was nicely done.
I try. So Gold's Code has another pitch. We follow the pizza shop in Miami until 4 gets involved in the Miami nightlife scene and becomes a target of a crime kingpin, leaving 2 and 3 to rescue him. It's multi-vice.
Ooh, that's not bad.
It sounds like a Sean Gold autobiography movie.
And it's an interesting point. And this might make everybody happy. Maybe we don't need the story of 1 anymore. Maybe the story is just about 2, 3, and 4.
3.
Well, that's what I thought.
The other 3, because 1 is like his life is set,
done,
he's charted out. 2, 3, and 4 are just starting on a new adventure. Like the sequel could have been made the following year, just the 3 of them running a pizza shop. It would have been awesome.
True.
And
Multiplicity 2, Multiplicity. Oh,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking
it's just so stupid.
So
You're
dumb.
stupid. You're so dumb.
You're so stupid, Chris.
You're so stupid.
I just want a multi-pizza pie.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
I know. I hate me too. I get it. I do.
All right. I'm glad we all agree.
The world is now dumber for what you just said. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You made the internet dumber.
I love that you think that like I'm having a butterfly effect on the world and not just like the 9 people that watch
the
this
things
show.
that come out of your mouth is a fart that created a hurricane.
Multi-pizza
I'm
party.
not gonna lie on you.
Oh
Chris.
man,
Multi-pizza party.
We'll talk later. There's a script.
Multi-pizza party. There you go.
No. Yeah.
And now even the chat is just derailed because Alex Bonavante says pitch. Jason Statham is the Easter Bunny. You know what? We could do worse.
Dude,
we could do
Somebody
worse.
got paid at
I'm just
Disney to
saying.
make those movies.
Jason Statham should make one movie
that.
that's fun. That's other than the Expendables. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, Crank. Crank.
The Meg was good.
The Meg, yeah.
I actually liked
Meg.
him in the Meg. I thought that that's a movie that doesn't. That's a movie you put in, you get what you get, and you're okay with it.
And
have
they
you
made
seen
a
this?
sequel.
Have you seen the
You're
sequel?
okay
Yeah.
with
Have you seen the sequel?
I have not yet. I actually do want to.
I did too, kind of.
Rainn Wilson, actually, that's a good Rainn Wilson movie. Like he gave him a chance to be other than Dwight, you know, kind of.
Just the title alone, the Meg. It sounds like a '90s like cybercrime movie. I don't
like the Net. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, the Net, like the Meg. It sounds like the Roger Corman knockoff of the Net.
There is 1,000 movie, YouTube shows. We are the only one who has mentioned the Net in the past 5 years.
Well, try and control your Dennis Leary fandom, because I know, or your Dennis Miller fandom. Excuse me.
I would love like a multiplicity
it's
with
what
Dave
you gotta
Chappelle.
Get, babe.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle in Multiplicity.
Oh yeah, he'd be good.
Oh,
he'd be great. He plays a lot of different kinds of roles. He'd be great at it.
Would be really
so awesome.
Dave Chappelle in a Multiplicity remake.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
It would be actually, especially in the late '90s too, like around the time of Half Baked. Like that would have been excellent.
Yeah.
So we do it on every show, and I'll commit the crime this week, but Nicolas Cage. Absolutely.
Oh,
A
yeah,
guy
of
that
course,
could
yeah.
play 45 different
that's
characters.
the
Every
weird
one of them
multiplicity,
fascinating.
not the funny multiplicity. That's
That's
the
that's
the
like the
gross
adaptation.
well, he
version.
kind of did adaptation.
Yeah.
Steve, did you just say that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
adaptation.
It's kind of
adaptation.
adaptation. Yeah, I mean that was kind of the weird.
Which I love that.
fair.
I love that movie too.
That's good.
Fair point. Been done.
Is there like an SNL character, like an SNL cast member who would? There is a version of this. If Harold Ramis and Bill Murray were like friendly at this time, I know there was a history there at this moment, but
yeah, post Groundhog Day was.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
not
the answer to that is yes, but it does fall into the direct-to-video Son of the Mask thing, and that's Dana Carvey. Like Dana Carvey did the sequel to this, it would have been terrible. As much as I love Dana Carvey, but that's the answer.
Would have been
what about
clean
Mike
slate.
Myers? Was there a Mike Myers version of this?
Will Ferrell could have done this.
Yeah, he could have done this. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Ferrell could have done this, and John C. Reilly would have had to have been someone of importance in the movie, like his work rival or something.
But that could have been interesting. Step Brothers clone.
Clone Step Brothers.
Dude, boats and hoes.
I'm surprised that Step Brothers hasn't been sequelized yet, but that's
they tried to do it with a team up.
It's technically past the VCR era, but I could see us doing a Step Brothers episode one day. So if you want to see that,
I think Talladega Nights was kind of the sequel.
Oh no, that was before Step Brothers. First of all,
it was
vastly inferior film.
I love that movie too.
I have a theory though. It's like every other Will Ferrell movie works.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that makes sense.
If you watch it, it's like Anchorman worked, Talladega Nights. It's grown over the years, but it's like Blades of Glory, meh.
No,
honestly, the only people that have like a 50% track record, that's like batting 500. Like literally, like there's a short list of people. Like Harold Ramis,
right? Old school was great.
Patrick Swayze, like that's about it.
Swayze.
So like you take half their shit and it's great. Like no one bats 500. That's crazy.
Most
most people.
It depends on how much, how many times you're at plate.
Yeah, exactly. How many chances do you get to make ones that aren't that? What? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Who plays Swayze having a little side chat?
Yeah, no, it's essentially when you're talking about an actor who does like 100 or 200 movies or whatever the case may be, how many of those movies are going to be good?
Yeah,
every Christopher Lee movie was good. Who's
that can't be true.
Well, it's not. Who's it though? He was in everything everywhere all at once. He was all
James Hong.
James Hong. That man has been in 1,000 movies.
Yeah, but we haven't seen them all. Yeah.
Mako is like only in great movies, although he was in Pearl Harbor, so fuck, that's not true. Well, what are you gonna do?
How can you
I will say though, it's
the Titanic of World War II movies.
What are you gonna do? God.
Yeah, well,
no English patient, but that's
I'll tell you what, Speed 2 is a better movie than both of those. So
Speed 2, I hate that you support that movie so much.
Well, that's one of the many perks of me doing it. It's not the only reason I do it. It's just one of the best job perks. Dustin Nino says next week do the Net 2.
Yes, I'm into it.
Oh God, nobody is gonna do the Net.
I'm so into it. I'm so there for it.
Gold's Code says, Dustin, all she had to do was give the disc back and get back her life. She got caught in the net.
How dare you?
It's just losing it. I'm sorry.
That is a terrible way. Like, that's basically saying every hero in movie history should just quit. You know?
The net and hackers have a lot in common.
They do.
We did do
yeah, they both suck.
Go eat some fucking gas station pizza and fucking shit in a truck stop bathroom, for God's sakes. I mean, come on. Just take a truck stop shit on the sacred text. I mean, come on. Really? Hackers?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot how the world is just advocating for the net. I forgot that that's in every dorm room across, I'm
just saying, you can't put the net and the hackers in one breath.
Listen,
like a little backlash.
The net is the movie you buy on the 15 disc version of Sandra Bullock just for
Sandy
other
B
movies.
can do no wrong. Sandy B is
Thank you.
fantastic in
Truth.
everything. Yeah.
Truth.
I mean, not
Facts.
really, no, but there was.
When is she not fantastic?
I mean, she's always fantastic, but like,
Yeah.
what was that? 28 Days Later.
I mean, while
Yeah.
you were sleeping,
28
it was
days
great.
later.
Zombie. That's a zombie movie. No,
This is that movie where the zombies quit drinking.
Movie where the zombies
That's
kill her.
28
Yeah.
days.
28 days.
days.
yeah.
I
God,
wanna see a
man, we
movie
reference a
where
lot of movies on this show. All right,
I want to see a
it's
movie.
confusing.
I want to see a movie where the zombies quit drinking for a change.
Right.
Kyle 2.0, although does request that we do a Step Brothers episode because he would be ridiculously
be
enthusiastic about it. So something to
Because
think
he was
about for the
born
future.
3 years ago. Like that's the only newer movie. Like, come on now.
Well, it's helps to. Mickey's just losing it. Yes, I love it. I love when I break Mickey. It's one of my favorite ways to wrap up a VCR. So I don't know. Have we pitched really Multiplicity sequels? Sort of. We kind of did.
Yes.
There's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot of good ideas on the table. I don't think this is one of those situations where you can just throw them all in a blender and spit out a sequel. But I would watch the Andy McDowell version. I would watch the version about 2, 3, and 4 in Miami.
No, you would.
I would.
You liar. If Andy McDowell version of Multiplicity came out, it would be a
I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't watch it.
Andy McDowell only does landmark films. First of all, can we just take a second here?
I can't even
talk
watch
about
one. Andy
talk about
McDowell.
an
I really want to
actress.
watch 4.
Can we talk
Andy
about an
Mc-
actress?
As far as I know, Andy McDowell's only done 4 films. I can't think of anything else.
All right, I'm Andy McDunn with all of you. All right,
I'm just saying, I like her. I just can't think of anything else she's in.
F you, you're cool. I'm out. Click.
I'm so McDunn. I swear. I swear. It's ridiculous. This woman was in Multiplicity. She was in Groundhog Day. She was in St. Elmo's Fire. Right there. That's all you need to be in.
Name the fourth one, Chris.
What's the fourth one?
The fourth one.
I'm having a hard time.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. She
one.
did Pantene Pro V commercials. She's got. If you had hair like that, you'd sit around doing shampoo commercials for like $4 million a pop too. I mean, come on.
I'm with you.
She's not into the Hollywood lifestyle.
4 weddings and a funeral.
4 weddings and a funeral. Okay. Thank you. Another fucking all-time great.
The Muse.
Don't be reminded of that. Don't act like you knew
we
that
should
one.
do 4 weddings and a funeral part 2.
Footloose.
Footloose.
Footloose? What was she in
Footloose.
Footloose?
The 2011 Footloose.
Oh,
okay.
stop it.
Well,
Magic Mike XXL.
I really broke Mickey tonight, folks. I really broke.
What is that? The third Magic Mike movie?
Footloose, the remake.
It's XXL, so that's the double. That's
All right.
That's the one Mickey went to the theater for, not the one
Right.
video.
Sex, Lies, and Videotapes.
Oh, right, of course.
right.
Another one of my all-time greats. So, yeah, thank you, Mickey, for sticking up for Andy McDowell for a change.
No,
Thank you for
I like this.
reminding
I like
me that
this.
she
I
was
like
an
this.
actress.
Don't get
Like,
me
shut
wrong.
up, Chris.
I don't like any of these fucking movies. I'm just saying. these are the movies
You don't like
she's in.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape? Do you have
come on.
no
Yeah, that's a
taste
good-
buds
that's
in
a
your
classic.
soul? That is one of the great. That's the film that really kicked off the indie movement. No, everyone thinks it's Slacker. No, it's
Crash.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Crash.
You don't like the remake to Footloose?
Yeah, oh god.
I
Ugh.
can't say I've witnessed this.
No, I don't think anyone saw it. There's no way anyone ever saw that.
Even
I've
the
never-
actors in the remake of Footloose didn't see it.
See,
Well,
they
you know
didn't see
what? I will
Footloose.
say this because this is the only way I'll remember it. We should honestly do a Footloose 2, like because
Yes,
the remake
you
is
should.
ass, and we should do a Kevin Bacon
Footloose 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Mhm.
That's not
Yeah,
the worst
perfect.
title I've
Set
ever
it up.
heard.
It's
pretty good.
Fucking A.
Only if it has
Um,
Star-Lord in it too.
And then we still need to do Grease 3, goddammit.
Oh god.
All right, so before I wrap things up, is there
Put Andy
any-
McDowell in it. That would make it that much better.
Oh, that would make her. Oh, she did 6 movies in her life. Okay.
I don't know. I think Mickey's like high on Country Club gin or something today. I don't know what he's all snobbed out about Andy McDowell. She doesn't meet the standards of Mickey today. I don't know for some
Them
reason.
Damn Pantene
Oh,
commercials too.
These
I
two
don't know- I
guys,
don't know what-
Albert and Costello. I mean, who's on first? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know what country club I wandered into this week, but I hope I'm back in my
You
studio
ran
booth
into
next
you
week.
got into the Bushwood of Caddyshack II. That's what you got into.
Yeah, this is the Bushwood of VCR.
This is the James
attitudes.
Mason
Boy, you buy a hat like this, you get a free bowl of soup. All right, before we
Looks
wrap
good
it
on
up,
you.
is
Whoa.
there anything you guys have got coming up you want to let the people know about? Anything, articles, music,
I did promise you guys something. I just came back from Iowa, and I was told I have to show you guys my action figures from a kid.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
This is G.I. Joe.
Big,
Extreme G.I. Joe, by the way.
So who else did G.I. Joe play?
That's his name, just Extreme G.I. Joe.
But what movie characters?
All the Joes.
Ironically, for this show, Egon from the Real Ghostbusters, right?
Nice.
Wow. Well done. A familiar looking toy, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
There you go.
No, it's gold, sir.
Well done.
I couldn't find the Demolition Man or the Waterworld toys, but that's okay. They're protected.
That explains so much that you played with Waterworld toys. I hate you. I hate you.
That villain was awesome as an action figure. I told you this. He was my Kurt Russell in every Kurt Russell movie I recreated.
Right? Yeah, I used to play Overboard all the time.
You can multiply.
So remember, I was playing Overboard,
and Ripley was Goldie Hawn. It worked,
right?
You know?
So I'm playing Captain Ron, and I'm
Oh my god, I absolutely love it. Captain Ron is really Snake Plissken. That's the same character. That's what he went on.
Gorillas. There's a difference.
That's my theory. It's all one universe. Captain Ron is Snake Plissken. Mickey, Steve, anything you guys got coming up in the works you want to let the people at home know about?
No, sir. I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, find them. Mickey, anything?
Not right now, no.
We'll find them both.
We're just chilling.
Them both on social media. In the meantime, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we let off some steam for our Commando episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, the Howl 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
Touch my pepper, Steve!